Welcome, everyone. This explainer is all about Section 3 of the Fairway Construction Field Operations SOP. We're going to walk through our playbook for project controls and compliance, everything that keeps our multifamily projects on track, on budget, and built to the highest possible standard.
So, here's what we'll be covering. We'll start with how we manage information and the schedule. Then we'll get into ensuring quality. After that, navigating all the rules of regulatory compliance. And finally, we'll touch on executing our site work with the kind of precision that Fairway is known for.
All right, let's dive right into part 1. Think of this as the communication engine that drives your entire project. It's all about our standard, go-to processes for handling questions and tracking our time out in the field.
SOP 3.1 gives us a really clear 5-step path for any issue in the field. First, you identify it and try to solve it informally right there on site. If that's a no-go, the superintendent then drafts a formal RFI in Procore. Next, it kicks over to the project manager for review and submittal. Once we get that final answer, the field team gets it done. This way, every single question is tracked from beginning to end.
Now, this is absolutely crucial. Can subs submit their own RFIs? The answer is a hard no. It's a non-negotiable rule. Every RFI has to flow through the project manager. Why? Because this is how we maintain control, track every potential change, and make sure we're speaking with one unified voice.
So, who updates what when it comes to the schedule? SOP 3.2 splits this up perfectly. Our field staff, that's our superintendents and assistants, you own the 3-week look-ahead, and you're the ones inputting weekly progress into Procore. But the master schedule itself, that can only be modified by the project manager. This setup protects the big picture plan while letting us stay agile with our short-term goals.
Okay, let's move on to part 2, ensuring quality. We call this the Fairway verification loop. It's a layered approach that brings together our own internal checks, outside third-party testing, and how we manage deficiencies. This table really breaks down our 3-part system. You've got our internal QC, which the superintendent leads using Procore inspections. Then there's third-party testing to make sure we're heading spec and code, which the sub also coordinates. And finally, deficiency management. Here, every single team member uses Procore observations to track issues. These aren't just separate jobs. They all work together as one integrated system.
Here is a super important detail from SOP 3.4 that will save you headaches. You have to, and I mean have to, give any third-party testing agency at least 48 hours notice. This isn't just being polite, it's a hard requirement to avoid delays and those expensive remobilization fees, so always plan ahead.
And when we do find a deficiency, SOP 3.6 gives us this awesome closed-loop process. You find it, you log it in Procore with a photo. You assign it to the right sub with a clear due date. Then they have to fix it and upload their own photo as proof. But we don't just take their word for it. Our superintendent or assistant has to physically go verify the fix before anything gets closed out in Procore. That's how we make sure nothing slips through the cracks.
Okay, on to part 3, navigating regulatory compliance. This part is all about the non-negotiables. These are the protocols that are mandated by outside authorities, and they're how we protect our projects, our company, and, most importantly, our people. Our compliance framework really rests on 3 main pillars. We have our procedures for all official code inspections. We have our complete site safety and incident reporting program. And we have our strict protocols for stormwater and erosion control.
I want you to read this quote from SOP 3.5 and let it sink in. This is an absolute rule. Work stops, period. You don't cover anything up until that past inspection is documented. This is what protects us from incredibly costly and time-consuming rework later on.
Now, our safety program, which is detailed in SOP 3.7, is built on these 4 consistent actions. Mandatory orientations for everyone, daily safety walks, weekly toolbox talks, and immediate reporting of any incident. These aren't just boxes to check. It's the constant rhythm of these activities that builds our safety culture. When it comes to environmental compliance, you've got to be a bit of a weather watcher. SOP 3.8 tells us that a formal stormwater inspection gets triggered in 2 ways, either every 7 days, like clockwork, or automatically within 24 hours after we get a half an inch of rain. This makes sure our controls are working and we're protecting the environment. All right, our final section, part 4, is about executing site work with precision. This is where we get the foundation right, literally. In these early stages, being precise and documenting everything is absolutely critical. It prevents huge mistakes down the road. Our site work controls boil down to these 3 key protocols: how we place our underground utilities, how we certify our building pads, and how we verify ADA compliance right from the get-go. So let's tackle one of the most critical questions we face in our construction sequence. This comes straight from SOP 3.10. Can we start building up before that pad is officially certified? And the answer couldn't be clearer. Absolutely not. No certified pad means no vertical construction. That certified geotech report has to be uploaded into Procore. Think of that document as the key that unlocks the next phase of work. It is a hard stop for a very, very good reason. SOP 3.11 is a great reminder of just how precise we need to be, especially with ADA compliance. When you're out there spot checking things like light switches, closet rods, or mirrors, our maximum tolerance is just ½ an inch. It's a tiny number, but it makes a world of difference. And to make sure we close that loop on compliance, you need to remember where the proof lives. All of those final ADA inspection reports have to be stored in this exact folder in Procore. This keeps our records complete, consistent, and easy to find for any audit down the line. So why does all this matter so much? Well, sticking to these SOPs gives us that standard framework we need to reduce risk and deliver consistent results on every single Fairway construction project. This disciplined approach protects our schedule, our budget, and our reputation. At the end of the day, it's the foundation for delivering the operational excellence that defines the Fairway standard. So as we wrap up, I want you to take this question back with you. Looking at everything we've just covered, what is one procedure you can use to improve control on your project starting this week? Thanks for your time.